wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, crime, fame, mud, disease, a plague, we all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name, all our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be, living in a time where disease is on every screen, I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering, negativity is a plague for the mentally weak, no mercy, all I got is working, never stop searching, never quench the thirsty, I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic, you can't stop it, it's been chronic, since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic, go! To last with the webs I'm weaving, I could change the past with all I'm achieving, got my foot on gas, never stop competing, if you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em, make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em, if you take off the cast, you can see all the healing, if the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas, no, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it, I just wanna be iconic, sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it, you know that I'm always honest, stay away from those who are toxic, keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy, the enemy is everything, it's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease, but I won't let it get to me, I don't need your therapy, I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity, come on, we can fight this, freedom is priceless, spread just like a virus, living in a crisis, do you feel courageous, do you seek greatness, trust me you can take it, go on and take your aim, yeah. Built to last with the webs I'm weaving, I could change the past with all I'm achieving, got my foot on gas, never stop competing, if you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em, make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em, if you take off the cast, you can see all the healing, if the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas, no, never stop competing, yeah.
It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at StocktonCon.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of StocktonCon. The Value of Wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that part. Hey, man, shout out to Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big Oos, San Jose. We gonna shut this shit down. Love and respect, though, right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank
Oh, you didn't know? Well, you better get ready to party lottie-dottie. Everybody's party. Here we are, right here on the Value of the Wrestling, on the big time, along with my co-host, Paulus, Clarke. We're here for your Monday Night Raw review for May 20th, 2024. We're going to break down Monday Night Raw, your final Raw before King and the Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. This is your go-home show. This is your finals. We got set up with your final matches from Raw, and then SmackDown will get the other two finals for the Queen and the King of the Ring matches to see who will be taking on who, but we'll break that all down as we discuss it right here tonight on your Monday Night Raw review. A decent show. Definitely a decent show. Probably not the greatest of shows going home into a pay-per-view, but I think it did some of the things that it needed to do to get you excited for what's coming up, doing a whole lot better than AEW. So I guess when you compare the apples to oranges, you know it tastes a little bit better. Yeah. Anyways, we open the show with Sami Zayn out in the ring. Sami welcomes up to Monday Night Raw, then brings up the triple threat match. He asked us earlier why he chose to be in a triple threat match. He'll try and explain. He has two different issues and wants to deal. Another sellout. Okay. Wants to deal with them both at the same time. What's going on between him and Gable? That's personal. You don't German suplex a man out of his wife's arms in his hometown in front of his 78-year-old father. Gable has an ass-kicking coming his way. The other issue is with Reed. It isn't personal. Reed doesn't care about anything but the title. This is the fight for the mind. This is the fight of the mind, body, and soul. A great analogy here. I thought this was a great way to pull this, whether Sami Zayn did this or this was something creative. I thought this was genius. He talked about this is a fight between the mind, body, and soul. The mind being Chad Gable, and the body being the strength of Bronson Reed, and the soul being Sami Zayn. If he's putting his money on the triple threat, he's betting on the soul every single time. It's that soul and passion that is why he is holding the title right now. He beat the longest reigning champion because of it, and it's why he will walk out of Queen of the Ring still your Intercontinental Championship champion, making Sami Zayn look like $1 million here. But I mean, a great analogy here with the mind, body, and soul. Chad Gable having the mind to manipulate people, Bronson Reed just being pure strength and being the body, and Sami Zayn comparing him to the soul of a WWE. I mean, yes, you definitely can say if you were going to have Team WWE right now, Sami Zayn would be one of those guys that would definitely be part of a team for WWE. He has the soul. Who is the soul of AEW would be my question. Thank you,
AEW has a soul?
Yes. It's going. Ladies and gentlemen, lasted that one out of the park. I only got one word for you. Damn. Gable comes out in a fighter's robe done by the Alpha Academy. They look all a bit nervous, and Gable questions being called manipulative. He coached Sami selflessly into winning that title. That is his problem. He figured it out. He is too damn nice. He was too nice to Sami, and he's been way too nice to the three clowns behind him. Take Maxine behind him. She should be in the finals this Saturday, but she won't be because she blew her opportunity. She's a failure. Tozawa, he did 0% of damage against Bronson Reed. He's a failure. And Otis, he proved last week why he is the biggest disappointment on the planet. Sami says that's enough. We've heard enough. Wait, no, he has a question for the Academy. How much longer are they going to deal with Gable's crap? Gable yells for Sami to stop. He doesn't speak to them. He does. He's the brains, right? They have all rededicated themselves to him. He's sick and tired of listening to Sami talk about his heart and soul. It's pathetic and Saudi. Gable doesn't have to pin Sami to win the title, but he's going to pin Sami. We get you suck chance. Sami says Saudi isn't for another 5 days, but they're in North Kakalaki, so let's do it here and now. Gable takes off the robe, and we get Chad Gable versus Sami Zayn to open the show. This is a solid opener to the show. Sami coming out, giving a great promo. Getting things really fired up and exciting for an Intercontinental title match on a pay-per-view. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on the opening of the show?
Sami's part of the promo, fantastic. Great. I mean, even Chad Gable's part. He did his role. He did his job. I loved it. What I want to nitpick about, though, is we talk about certain matches that happen in AEW multiple times and then go to a pay-per-view. Why are we having Chad Gable and Sami Zayn fight tonight when the big title match is Saturday? That just kind of was a little bit of a head-scratcher for me.
Well,
the promo was great.
I think the point was to put doubt, basically, as we'll talk about the match, but I think it puts doubt in the mind. And I think that was the purpose of this match tonight, to give these two to give the fans a little taste of what could be and what could happen here. And of course, the real heat is between Sami and Chad Gable. Bronson Reed kind of being the third person in there. So tonight, with this match, you let the heat of Sami Zayn and Chad Gable continue to grow, along with the aspect of, well, if these two are going at it and ready to tear apart, could Bronson Reed be the third man that's going to win it? Simply because the other two are going to beat themselves silly, and Bronson Reed's just going to pick up the scraps. So I think with part of this match and storytelling, you're giving a little bit of doubt and a little bit of like, well, maybe anybody could win this match. Speaking of that, it's a solid way to throw off the fans sent to another one. Yeah, I would say that's definitely. This was a good, solid match. Gable at one point tried to get Maxine to slap Sami while Sami was over the ropes. She hesitated and couldn't do it. Then he threw Sami over into the ropes and wanted Tozawa to attack Sami. He refused to do it. Eventually, Gable got pissed off and threw both Tozawa and Maxine out of ringside. He kicked them out, not the referee. Sami then picks up a blue thunderbomb while Gable was distracted for 1-2. He kicks out. Gable rolls out of the ring while we get a replay of the QR code. And we go to break. After we get back, Gable has a waist lock. He hits a German. He hits another, goes for his third, but Sammy hits some elbows. Switches, German from Sammy, another from Sammy. Gable elbows out of this time, breaking the hold. He misses the third, spins into Michinoku driver. Sammy with a pin for 2. Gable pulls himself up. Sammy shoots for the huluba kick, but Gable picks the leg and gets an ankle lock. Sammy breaks the hold after some time. His leg is hurting. Gable sends him outside where Sammy cannot stand. Ref holds back Gable as Otis walks slowly to Sammy. Otis seems conflicted. Sammy to his look up and is stunned that Otis isn't making a move. Gable runs out of the ring, tosses Sammy into the ring, heads to Otis to yell at him. He screams and slaps Otis across the face hard. Gable grabs the IC, runs into the ring, gets hit with a exploder. Otis on the apron as the ref takes the title from Gable. Otis with the clothesline to Sammy. The ref shoots the title out of the ring. Gable locks up Sammy from behind. Chaos Theory for a pin. 1, 2, 3. 60 minutes, 6 seconds. A good solid match here between Chad Gable and Sami Zayn. Hate to see the interference by Otis, but it leads into the storyline. And again, I think Chad Gable picking up this win puts that little cautionary doubt. Can Sammy overcome Chad Gable? Is it Chad Gable's time? Then it also puts the other doubt, now that we've seen this match, could these two not be able to focus in the match, that they're going to let their emotions rule them, beat the snot out of each other, and Bronson Reed just has to pick up the scraps? I mean, it's really hard for sure to sit down and say who will win the Intercontinental title in this. Sami Zayn being the soul, that raw speech at the beginning, the promo, makes you go, Sammy's going to do it. Chad Gable winning the match, you're kind of like, maybe it's going to be Chad Gable. And then if you look at the big picture and look at the emotions between Chad Gable and Sami Zayn and go, well, I mean, if they can't get themselves under control, all Bronson Reed does has to pick up the pieces. So, I mean, you might have a favorite, but could you really tell me right now that you could, for 100% for sure, pick the winner of this match?
Well, first of all, you can almost never 100% say for sure because we ain't the bookers.
No, I know.
But, yeah, you're right. I have my opinion, but I have no bloody clue who's really going to win this match because you have an argument for all three.
Yes. No, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I feel it's probably Sami Zayn heavier, but Chad Gable's been really built up. Is it time to shine? What do you do if Chad Gable doesn't win this? I get why Bronson Reed's in here. Maybe that's the saving grace, but maybe he picks up the win and walks out with the title to set us on a whole new course. And then you have Chad Gable chasing the Bronson Reed. Where do you go with Sammy? There's a lot of questions, but there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of stories, regardless of who wins it. And the fact of the matter, everybody in this match for once deserves to be in it. Like, I can't be mad, and I don't think anybody really could be mad with any of these guys winning it. They've told enough stories, giving you enough reason to believe in each person having the right to win that title.
Yeah.
Unlike
Bronson's
some other.
Been chasing it. Chad's been chasing it. Sammy has it.
Exactly. So it's a lot better than maybe a Shibata Hook versus Brian Keith for a chance to go fight for the FDW title.
Oh, man.
You kind of get it, but do really any of them really have that, like, yes, you know what I'm saying? No. Here we have a triple threat match where you look at everybody and go, I don't think you can be mad regardless of who wins the match. You're not going to be mad. You may be disappointed. If you're a big Sammy fan, you may be disappointed, but I don't think you can be really necessarily mad at if the Chad Gable or Bronson Reed picks up this title. I think any of these guys deserve to carry this title, and I think the fans are going to be the biggest winner coming out of Saudi Arabia, because regardless of who rocks out of the title, I think you have to be happy. I mean, you can be a Sammy fan, and I get that and get the disappointment. If you're, you're the diehard Sammy fan and Chad Gable walks out or Bronson Reed walks out, I get that disappointment, but I don't think you can actually be mad at the other guys because they built Chad Gable to be like, we want to see the title on it. We wanted to see the title going into WrestleMania on Chad Gable. We thought it would have been Chad Gable and Gunther or a triple threat, but we got Sammy. Sammy took the title. And Bronson Reed has definitely established himself as a beast that, he definitely deserves that title. And I think that's the best part of it altogether is each and every one of these men have a right to the claim that title, and you can't look at it and go, somebody's just in here to take the pin. We don't have that this time. I can't tell you who's the guy to take the pin.
Yeah.
After
you want to talk about how Bronson Reed's been built? A tsunami looks a whole lot worse than an earthquake.
Yep. After the match, we got "You Suck" chants in chorus in this Gable's music. So we have this Kurt Angle feel here, but they were chanting "You Suck" to the Alpha Academy music in cadence. So, Angle's music was "You Suck," and they were going "You Suck," to Gable's music. So it seems like the fans have found a way to bless Chad Gable with the "You Suck" chants.
To bless him.
Now, I wish this person would get themselves educated, because they say somewhere in Philly, Angle is crying tears of joy. I don't believe he lives in Philadelphia, unless I do not know. I wish somebody could tell me that, but I'm pretty damn sure Kurt Angle's from Pittsburgh, and that's pretty offensive if you're saying he's from Philly when Pittsburgh's on the complete opposite end of the state. He's from Pittsburgh. I know that. He may live in Philly, but I don't think he lives in Philly.
I don't know, and I don't even care at this point. I believe you're right.
Well, he is from
But
Pittsburgh.
where he lives
That I know
presently-
for a fact, but I don't know where he lives
that's where I was
currently.
going with it. That's where I was going with it.
Braun Baker makes his Raw debut next. Backstage, Gable is asking if using Otis is his master plan. So Jackie Redmond comes over to talk to Chad Gable about using Otis as a master plan. Some ruckus in the background happens, and we go on the run for a breaking news report. As we see, Cruz El Toro has been attacked by the unknown assailant. The LWO is back there with him. He's rocking on the ground. From there, we got Braun Breaker's Raw debut against Kale Dixon. I guess he is from NXT Level Up. If you watch that, then you would know who this gentleman is. Braun comes in. Seems he's very disappointed. He's talking to himself in the corner. It seems like he's not happy about the opponent he's upset that he wasn't in the King of the Ring tournament, and now he's being fed somebody who's really to the majority of fans probably a nobody. Now, again, Cal Dixon is a part of the NXT Level Up. If you watch that, you have some background. If you don't watch that, then unfortunately, Cal Dixon is really regulated to the theory of being a nobody. Braun eventually turns around and spears the living snot out of Dixon. And then they go outside the ring, and he runs around the ring, hits another spear. Bronson goes back in the ring, another spear, and the ref checks on Dixon, tells the timekeeper that he can't continue. There's some hesitation. Braun Breaker then stares at the hard camera, seeming frustrated and pissed. He runs for the ropes about 4 times back and forth, and then hits Dixon again while Dixon's being helped to his feet by the ref. How he didn't hit the ref, I have to give some credit there. Dixon rolls outside. Braun falls, grabs some steps for damage, but the refs and agents come down. Braun turns to grab a chair and walks over to Dixon, who, for no good reason, places his head onto the dangerously organized steps. Braun smashes his chair onto the head of Kale and finally leaves. Eventually, Kale is being stretchered out and being taken to an ambulance. Here comes Braun. He's talking to Pierce, is yelling, and Braun tells him that he can't control him. He didn't book him in the King of the Ring, and that's on Pierce. And yes, that was a lot of, anyways, person putting their own thoughts into that, throwing off the conversation there. But they're doing it right to an extent. I mean, this is what we need from Braun Breaker. He needs to run through people. The spear. It's like, okay, I've seen it. Like, the spear is not as powerful as it was when Goldberg introduced it. Edge was still able to use it, and Rhino was still able to use it and have some validity, but it's like now everybody does the spear. I mean, Jey Uso's doing the spear. This is, I mean,
that's because like, Roman does it, so he's taking it from Roman.
I get that, but I mean, it's like everybody who does the spear. Christian does the spear because Edge does the spear. Jay does it because Roman does it. Joe Blow does it, and Jimmy Joe Blow does it because Joe Blow does it, and on. And Braun Breaker, I get the spear. He can run really fast to bounce out the ropes. I kind of get it, but I'm just like, he needs that ultimate finisher maneuver. I know we talked about this off air. I wouldn't be mad if he used the jackhammer to be this powerful closing maneuver. I mean, it's just, they got him kind of going in the right direction. I'm just like, okay, the spears, like, if you're going to make, his spears.
Sometimes he hits it good and sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah, it's just like, I really need to feel like he's running through the mother trucker. Like when he hits that spear, I need to feel like he's doing like Goldberg did and running. When Goldberg hit a spear, and he'll tell you, he was basically looking past his opponent and running through. And this is what I need to see from Braun Breaker each and every time. Like, he is going to run through that guy. And then I need him to have something else. A jackhammer, I don't know, a
recliner,
a last ride, or some type of running power slam, or some major,
See, he did in NXT. He did use the running power slam for a bit. That's what's weird to me. It's like they've changed it up.
The spear's
but
good,
at least in this segment, he was channeling the spirit of his uncle.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Scott Steiner.
I just wish he had something to add beyond the spear. It's like the spear, sometimes he nails it just right. Sometimes you're just like, bah. And it's just like,
off, yeah.
If he just got that one other thing, like if it was the spear and then the jackhammer, the spear, something. I mean, it's a little, I get the Steiner recliner would be great, but it's a little hard to go spear and then Steiner recliner, like it don't. I want that impactful, like he's just a beast. Of course, if he grabbed him up in the Steiner recliner.
Well, the idea would be the spear would take the guy out or take the guy down either way.
Yeah.
And then the recliner just gets him to submit.
But he needs
either
to do
way, that stomach is going to get worked over.
But he also needs to do a little, spear him and do like the stretch back recliner where he like rocks back and like just,
Yeah.
It doesn't just need to be the recliner. It needs to be new, a slight twist to it. Like it's super pull back, kind of like Miro does in AEW when he does the camel clutch. He pulls back further. This is what I need to see from. He needs to be painful. This is what I need to feel when Braun Breaker hits a spear or does the Steiner recliner, whatever fit. I need to feel pain. I need to be like, ooh, I don't want to be in that ring with that motherfucker. I want to feel.
If you feel like you can take the move, if you feel like it's so soft serve, you're like, you can pay me to take that.
The spears sometimes don't work. I'm just like, if he had that extra just vicious move that would just take him up one more level, or you're just like, yeah, he's going to be a badass. He's going to be a good star. He's just missing something. I can't necessarily hit it right on, but I mean, maybe it is the jackhammer. Maybe they need to bring back Goldberg and let Goldberg and Braun Breaker have that, and then Goldberg or Braun Breaker beat Goldberg with the jackhammer. So I don't think we've ever seen that. And then that could be that could be a passing of the torch where Goldberg gives Braun Breaker the blessing to use that jackhammer. Because I believe Goldberg and the Steiners are buddies. I think they get along fairly well. Don't know for a fact, but that would be a great way to bring Goldberg back. Let Goldberg have a run through some people until he meets Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker, Goldberg. Let Braun Breaker beat Goldberg with the jackhammer. And then he would have a reason to be doing the move and could carry that on to the next.
That's fair. There would be a storyline reason.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he can start it, or they could start having him do it and then have Goldberg come in. But I would just, if he's going to use the jackhammer, they kind of need to bring Goldberg in to solidify why he was going to use that, because who else has really ever used the jackhammer on at least WWE? I don't think anybody uses it. AEW.
I can't remember anyone using it on Goldberg in WCW.
Well, I'm talking about anybody using it, period, really, because it's like if he started using it, you would think that would be a taunt to Goldberg, like, oh, because we know how Goldberg feels about everybody using the spear. So if Braun Breaker used
the only person I've seen use the jackhammer move besides Goldberg every so often is Billy Gunn in AEW.
Yeah.
Why? It's just kind of random.
Yeah. But if Braun Breaker started using it as a consistent finisher, that would taunt Goldberg. That would be a reason to bring Goldberg in, at least give him that clash, and then have Goldberg lose, put over Braun Breaker, and give him that torch passing. I mean, you could do it with Wardlow if AEW was smart enough, but they're not. So WWE, pick up on it. Get Braun Breaker to be Goldberg. I mean, Braun Breaker could be the guy coming out screaming, who's next? I mean, he could take that whole momentum, twist it up for his own flavoring, and feel like $1 million.
I believe the term I'm looking for is, you can do it!
Yeah. Up next is the Queen of the Ring semifinal match, Lyra Valkyrie versus Io Sky. This is a good match, good solid match, back and forth, bunch of free falls, some beautiful moonsaults, some almost near submission falls here. Eventually, Io goes to the top, moonsault attempt, lands on her feet. Lyra with a fireman's With the environment, Io slides down the back, tries for a sunset flip, but Lyra sets down for the pin for a 1, 2, 3. And in a shocker, Lyra Valkyrie is your winner. Fresh from NXT, drafted up within the last 3 weeks. This match went 19 minutes and 16 seconds. Good show, both these women looking really strong. But Lyra Valkyrie picks up the win. I think a lot of people are probably wagering on Io Sky, thinking they were going to do something with possibly making Io Sky the queen of the ring in this tournament. But now we have Lyra Valkyrie sets up for a very interesting finals match. Who will she meet? Will she meet Nia Jax or will she meet Bianca Belair? Could be interesting. I'm starting to think that maybe we're going to crown Nia Jax as the queen of the ring. I don't know if it's time. I mean, they've given a lot of shine here to Lyra Valkyrie. She may be the right one to make Queen of the Ring to build her story presence. They are teasing a lot of things with her already, with Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan and a lot of different things. But could be very interesting. But I don't know if it's time to put something on her like the Queen of the Ring. Could be making a star, but who knows? And they may be going for Nia Jax to be Queen of the Ring. I'd rather see that over Bianca Belair. I don't want to see. I love what Bianca's doing right now with Jade. I don't need to see her as Queen of the Ring. It's just like, no, it's going to hurt that. She's good where she is right now. Like, we can stand her. If you make her Queen of the Ring, I'm just like, no, that's like giving her the title. It's like she doesn't need that right now. So we'll have to wait and see. But this is a good, solid match. Of course, after the match, Jackie talks to Lyra. She wants to talk to her about Io. Io grabs the mic and says something angrily in Japanese and then leaves. Jackie asked Lyra if she could have imagined how far she had gone since the draft. She says no. She says 3 weeks ago she couldn't imagine beating a former WWE Women's Champion. The trick is believing that you can get the job done. She is now one Nightwing away from becoming Queen of the Ring. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on this match?
Here's what I want to know. In the build-up to WrestleMania 40, why weren't they booking Io Sky like this? To having good matches?
Yeah.
We know she had the ability. We've seen, some of us have watched her in NXT, knew she had the ability, but why were they not building her on the main roster to have a match like this tonight? Because even in a loss, she looks good. That's all we could ever ask of our, main roster talent. She was the WWE Women's Champion, and she was not built like this. I'm happy for her tonight. It was a great match. I'm cool with Lyra winning. Because, like I said, been watching NXT. Lyra's been doing good work there, too. Now, like she's on the main roster now. She's got to prove herself and show what the global audience, gets to see now.
Do you think she could be the queen of the... Do you think she could win this?
Oh, absolutely. She absolutely has the tools. And I think they're showing that she's got enough popularity and the backing of management, if you will.
Yeah.
Well, not so much management. I'll say the writers, and you know what I'm trying to say. Creative. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
If they want to pull that trigger, she's there. If they want to play on Nia, I can understand that because she is at the moment probably perceived as the bigger star.
Yeah. No, I think Lyra Valkyrie would definitely be making a star, using the Queen of the Ring to make a star. But I'm kind of, and I am not the biggest Nia Jax fan, but I think maybe this is time to crown Nia Jax. It gives her some character, it gives her some purpose, and puts her in a position that would be very interesting. And then we talk about Bianca Belair. I don't think they're going to do two baby faces in the end, so I don't see Bianca Belair going over Nia Jax. I mean, they could, but I don't really want to see Bianca Belair in this Queen of the Ring tournament finals. I don't even want to see the chance of her becoming Queen of the Ring. Again, Bianca Belair is safe right now where she is. She's doing great work. She's in a place. She's working with Jade. She's helping get Jade over. Crowning Bianca Belair would feel like putting a title on her, and we were already so over that. She's already had a title for so long. It's like, no, don't make her the Queen of the Ring. I don't think that'll be the best step in that direction. Nia Jax. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, though. With Bianca Belair, she may not... You and I are pretty much in sync on how we feel about her and where she is at the moment. However, she is popular as F with the global audience.
Yes.
So, are they? Is creative going to listen to us on what our taste is, or are they going to listen to the overall global audience?
I don't know.
So there's still that shot that Bianca could win.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Bianca could win it all. I don't think I don't know if that's the right direction, at least in my opinion. Now, and if fans who love her, they're going to be like, "Oh, this is the greatest thing." But again, I don't know if it's the right direction creatively, looking into the future and everything else. And that's part of what we do here. We have to look at it away from what we personally think or what our fan favorites are. We've got to step out of that and look at the bigger picture and go, okay, if you do this, is that the right decision? Liar Valkyrie might be the right decision. I'm leaning, and I'm shocked. I'm even saying I'm leaning it might be right for Nia Jax, just because it could be a great get. It is. I mean, we were so hard on Nia Jax before to sit here now and go, yeah, it's her winning the queen of the ring.
There you go.
It's not a wrong choice at this point.
No, it isn't.
So
it's ironic just knowing how much we used to critique her. But
we used to not say her name on this show. Anyways, we go backstage and R-Truth is talking to the New Catch Republic, or at least Pete Dunne. He starts doing the hokey pokey, and here comes Miz telling him he needs to focus on the title defense tonight. Truth says he's spoken to Andre the Giant, and he'll be there to help them tonight. Miz tells Truth that Andre passed away like 30 years ago. Truth says, passed away what? Truth tells Miz to trust him, then walks away. Miz speaks to the ghost of Andre, saying they could actually use his help. Truth comes back in the frame and asks Miz who he's talking to, and they call Miz crazy.
Right.
I don't know what to say here. Pete Dunne did not look very happy talking to R-Truth or seeing the hokey pokey. His little buddy did. I forget what's his name. It's Pete Dunne and Trent. No, it's Pete Dunne and who? The New Catch Republic.
Oh, not Trent 7 because he's in TNA now.
Big strong boy.
Yeah, I know who it is. I can visualize. This is sad. I can't think of his name.
We're horrible. Anyways, very interesting segment. I don't know how much longer the Miz and R-Truth need these tag team titles. I want them off of them, honestly, so they can go to someone.
Well, you wanted them off the first Monday after Mania,
yeah.
So
I just think it's time to get these titles on a real tag team, because this was a makeshift tag team. We're switching. Let's get the tag teams on the tag team and make these tag teams feel serious again. Get them pointed in the right direction. Let's build the tag team division to be something of a true feeling of something. From there, we're backstage with Ilya Dragunov. He's frustrated, but there is no shame in losing to someone they call the main event. He brings up Gunther and tells Jay he can't finish because here comes Ricochet. Ricochet saying doesn't get to finish it, telling him, you got the best of me one time, but that's not going to happen again. It looks like Ricochet was kind of having a heelish tactics here against Ilya Dragunov briefly, but then Ricochet pushes Ilya Dragunov out of the way and gets speared straight through a crate, a whatever they want to call it, and knocked out. Teams come running over and check on Ricochet, and Adam Pearce is more pissed off at Braun Breaker.
All right, so I'm going to stop you for a second just to remind our audience. The Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate.
Tyler Bate, there we go. Strong young boy. We get a beautiful a video package, a beautiful promo package from Gunther. It was pre-taped in the empty arena, saying all the seats will be filled with thousands of people. He was giving Jay his props for getting where he is from when the last time they faced off, throwing their hands in the air and chanting his name and filling the room with hope and illusion. The bad news is he's in the business of taking hopes away and bringing reality back to people. Tonight, it won't be about the more exciting act on his way to the ring. It's about who is the better professional wrestler. Jay may be the most exciting showman, but in the ring, Gunther is superior. And after the final bell, all the people will embrace him. This promo was great for Gunther walking down the stairs of an empty arena. It brought you in. He hits on every point. This man is a world champion in the making. Whether you love Gunther or not, you have to respect what they did with this promo package tonight.
Well, you have the promo, which by itself was great.
Yes.
A lot of companies have had, the sit-down interview in the empty arena, and it's okay. But the visual, and just of him coming down while speaking, like and hitting every point, like you said, was just great. The visual, as well as the promo together, WWE's on fire again. That's all we can say.
No, they nailed it with this promo, and they're making Gunther look like $1 million in all of this. Backstage, we're with Judgment Day, who are talking up. Damian Priest checks on Finn and JD, and then turns to Carlito. Priest heard what he did to Cruz, and he'll be out for a while. The LWO is pissed and coming after Carlito. Carlito says that's why he's attacked first. Priest wonders if Carlito thinks this is the APA, which was a great throwback because they're not here to protect him. And Carlito's trying to hide out there. Everyone leaves but Finn Balor, who tells Priest that he wishes it was him and Priest out there tonight, but he gets it. Priest is the champion. An interesting undertone, an interesting look in this. They're saying a lot without saying anything. It was very interesting in this moment. Carlito's left alone with Priest and asked him if he saw the Knicks game. Priest asked what's wrong with him. Judgment Day is weak without Rhea Ripley. Damian Priest is not a good leader, and I don't know if this is an intentional setup or if this is just him or how it's coming off. He's about himself, and you can feel it. The other three, and it's sad because I'm looking at Finn Balor, and he just feels kind of lost in the shuffle of this Judgment Day thing now. I like him teaming up with JD McDonough, but it still just feels like they're all lost. Carlito kind of here. Dom, I feel like Judgment Day is this slow, unraveling, falling apart thing that we're just kind of waiting for the final trigger to happen. And Judgment Day just doesn't have the feel without Mommy there. I'm sorry. It's not what was. It's surviving, but again, and Mommy's probably going to come back as a babyface because where we're seeing Liv Morgan going and the fact that Mommy was so hot.
Right.
And when she comes back from injury, it's going to be hard to not make her a babyface going forward. So if that happens, I don't know what you do. For me, I would say you would end Judgment Day. I think you need to head Finn Balor versus Damian Priest going into SummerSlam. Bring Mommy back. Mommy needs to have her Latino heat, Dominic Mysterio beside her. But I think you leave Mommy face. You keep Dominic riding that little bit of a heel side, but align with Mommy. And her basically trying to get him to do the right thing, but he's still willing to do the lying, the cheating, and the stealing. I think you can redo Eddie in China in a way, but for the modern era, I think that's a lot of things here. Where does JD McDonough fall out of this? I don't know. He's going to probably get lost in the shuffle of life. Hopefully they can figure out something with him. But I feel like Judgment Day is about to go. I think we need Priest Balor. I think that's going to be awesome. Priest is... I don't know. They haven't really given us a whole lot in what Priest's direction's going. They gave us a little bit later in the night, but at this point, I'm kind of like, what are they doing with Damian Priest? He just kind of seems he's the world champion. He cashed in, had this big win, but he just seems to be kind of floating through the universe. He still feels a little better than the guy that's reigning the AEW world title over there. At least he feels validated and not just completely like, yeah. But he kind of seems, at least tonight, and we'll talk about it here shortly, they gave us some maybe direction that's coming around. And they gave us a little bit of a taste of maybe a Balor Priest issue. But I'm worried about Damian Priest and his title run. It just feels...
Now, not being a sports guy, maybe you can help me understand better the ending of the segment with Carlito asking about the Knicks game and Damian Priest looking at him like, what's wrong with you? What is it about was it New York Knicks?
Yes, it's the New York Knicks.
Why was that a thing? I mean, like, what's the...
I don't know. I didn't watch the game. I don't know what happened down there. But I
thought it was just general fandom.
Thank you, Brother Maurice. We thank you for joining us in the chat. We thank you for the love and support. You can do it too. I love you. Yes, Brother Maurice here doing his best Brother Love impression. We appreciate you for that. Anyways, how do you feel about Damian Priest's title run right now? Do you feel they have anything? I mean, I know later on the night they added a little bit to it, but it seemed like up to this point I was thinking He just seems kind of there, but directionless.
It's like, I'm all right with it. I like the fact he has the title, but you're right. It's like they don't have a major story for him to get into. Right now, the major story is Cody on SmackDown. The generalized story is kind of the Judgment Day and what's kind of happening there. But Priest as the World Heavyweight Champion, and you're like, cool. But there's not enough to sink your teeth into the way you would want as a fan.
Yes. Backstage, we see Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks are going to be in a four-way dance for the opportunity to get a shot at the women's tag team titles. When Sonya Deville makes her return. Yeah, Sonya Deville's here. She tries to talk to Zoe and Shayna. Sonya Deville having a history with Shayna. Then Shayna basically cuts off Sonya, and Shayna and Zoe Starks walk away. What is Sonya Deville doing back? What is the direction with her? I'm still waiting for the day they bring her in with a Dalmatian because it would just be funny.
Okay,
if we go to 101 Dalmatians, do you remember what the name of the female villain was?
Cruella Deville.
Okay, Sonya Deville, Cruella Deville. She could come in with 100 Dalmatian.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. I always hear her last name, but I'm just like, hey. But hey, anyways, so we get this interesting scene. What is going to happen with Sonya Deville? I feel like they're going to make her a manager, maybe, or alignment in some group. Who knows? It's going to be.
That's what I was thinking too. Is it possible?
Like, she was looking for a mentor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She might be good to have a female stable to bring together. We'll have to wait and see. Next up is the WWE World Tag Team titles are on the line. It's Awesome Truth, The Miz, and R-Truth take on the Judgment Day, made up of Finn Balor and J.D. McDonough, or what everybody calls the real-life Funko Pop. And speaking of Funko Pops, check the description below. Check out our friends at the Goldmine. Go ahead and click that description below. It'll take you to the Facebook group. All you have to do is register on the Facebook group. Tell them the Value Wrestling sent you. Tell them what Funko Pops you're looking for, whether they're wrestling related or any other Funko Pops that you're looking for. If you're looking to complete a collection or that hard to find pop, they are here to help you find and get connected with all the pops that you want at reasonable prices, real friendly, real easy to deal with, and they are going to give you the best value for your buck. So check out the Goldmine. The description's in the link below. Just go down there to the description box. You'll find the Goldmine right there. Click on it, take you to the Facebook group, and there you go. And of course, also while you're down there, make sure you check out our good friend AJ Kirsch. You saw him at the beginning of the video with the shout out with the Samoan Werewolf Jacob Fatu. That was AJ Kirsch, the voice of Stockton Con, the voice of many things, but he is currently a part of men's Mr. Health and Fitness. He is raising money for childhood cancer. He is still #1 in their voting. Go vote. Click the link. It'll take you to the place where you can vote. You can vote one day. You can vote once a day for free, or if you want to buy votes, you can make a donation and continue to help support him in his endeavor to be the winner. He is standing at #1. Go check him out. Check the description below and click that link. And that is your other option there. Also down there, you will find the link to our GoFundMe page. We at the Value Wrestling are working very hard and diligently to get to WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, but we're going to need some of your help and support. If you can, please help. Please donate. Please help us get to WrestleMania so we can bring you the best content available. We want to go to WrestleMania. We are going to bring you live feeds. We are going to bring you post-show reviews. We are going to bring you events live on scene. If we can, we will probably be there doing a fan meetup. We will be giving away stuff if we get to do the fan meetup. So if we can get this to happen, we're going to have a lot of fun things to do. We promise you it's going to be a good time. We just got to build a way to get there. And if you can help support us get there, click on that link below. Listen to the video. It'll explain it in great detail. Make a donation, help support the Value Wrestling as you do each and every week. We thank you for being here and taking a part of the Value of Wrestling. Anyways, we talked about the Funko Pop, but J.D. McDonough, we had a tag team match that we got to get back into. Eventually, Carlito comes in here to try and interfere. This eventually brings out Braun Strowman. He knocks down, or J.D. McDonough last week had threaten Braun Strowman. And so Carlito was out there, and JD McDonough pumped up Carlito to go after Braun Strowman. He went after Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman chased JD around the ring. JD ran into the ring, into an FU from R-Truth for the 1, 2, 3. The Awesome Truth retains the title. This match went 9 minutes, 36 seconds. Wasn't the greatest match in any sense. It was kind of one of those ha-ha matches. I don't know what to get excited about. I hate the fact that Finn Balor's kind of tied into this. Miz and R-Truth, it's fine. I guess this is how you keep them relevant. Everybody's hot for R-Truth, but I'm kind of like, I wish there was something better here. I was kind of hoping that Judgment Day would take the titles off of them, but we didn't get that. And now Braun Strowman being thrown in here. Of course, Braun Strowman from North Kakalaki, so he was definitely in his home territory, and it was nice to see him on screen tonight. Not a whole lot to say about this match. It did its purpose. This was more of your comedy match. This was kind of your pop-off, big moment for Braun Strowman. He really didn't do anything for anybody else. Of course, Carlito failed at his mission tonight, so it was more about fallout and continuing stories.
And the funny part is, it should have dawned on me earlier when Truth said, he talked to Andre the Giant. Well, it's like, who do they have that would be a close equivalent? Like, well, duh. Braun Strowman should have been the first person that popped in my head, and he wasn't for whatever reason. I'm
yes.
Like, what are they going to do to pay this off? Oh, yes. And then when Braun Strowman comes out, it's like, okay, makes sense now.
Yeah. No, it worked out for what it was. It was a 9-minute match, 9.5-minute match. It did what it needed to do. Awesome Truth gets another win. This is really your laughing, your comedy. This was your yay. This is about getting the fans happy.
But you need that in the card, though, sometimes, too.
Yes.
So it's like, it's not a bad thing. It's just maybe not your favorite thing.
No, it's not my favorite thing. And I worry that going to that how many times before it just becomes mundane, boring, routine. And it's just like, okay, can we move on to the next thing? Anyways, I think
you're never going to turn R-Truth serious. So
no, I don't care about that. I'd rather see R-Truth like mix it up with Brock Lesnar sometime, though. Making him have Brock Lesnar crack again. If Brock Lesnar ever comes back to WWE, of course, last I heard, he's done. They are separating ties, but we're still waiting for more news on that. So take that all with a grain of salt. Nothing in stone, nothing in fact. From there, we're backstage with Lyra Valkyrie. She's talking with Becky Lynch, who congratulates her on the win and leaves. She comes face to face with Liv Morgan, who is surprised Lyra didn't use Becky's help. She then tricks Lyra into looking away for a split second and punches her in the face and walks away with her villainous laugh. And it seems like we're going heel with Liv Morgan here, which is probably the right direction. Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch going to tie it up at Saudi Arabia at the King and the Queen of the Ring tournament, or King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view. I wish they'd give us a better name instead of the King and Queen of the Ring for this pay-per-view. It's like, okay. They're fine if they're like.
I mean, what do you want? The Royals of the Ring? I mean,
maybe it's the Night of Royalty or something that rolls off the tongue instead of trying to say the King of the Ring tournament was great. If you had the King of the Ring tournament and the Queen of the Ring tournament and they were separate things, it would be okay. But making it the King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view or PLE.
That's how you get your equality. I don't know. From a marketing point of view, I kind of get it, but
But anyways, we're going to see Liv Morgan there. I don't know if we can't be mad if Liv Morgan beats Becky Lynch. Liv Morgan probably needs to beat Becky Lynch at some point before Mommy comes back, because the heat's going to be between Mommy and Rhea Ripley. So I think, you gave the title to Becky. I think it needs to go to Liv. And Liv needs to go on a nice run. So she feels she needs to do the dirty tactics. She needs to really get herself over as a heel. She needs the title. She needs to feel kind of unstoppable. So when Mommy comes back, you're going to have a good, strong Liv Morgan to not necessarily feed to her, but give her that match that, is really going to be worth the payoff. And if this means Rhea's out until Rumble and she has to reappear at Rumble, win the Women's Royal Rumble to face Liv Morgan at WrestleMania, I'd much rather see that than Rhea and Becky at this point. Or anybody else.
Yeah, like we said before, Becky felt like the safe choice. When Rhea had to give up the title.
No, I think
I will not be mad at all if Liv wins the title in Saudi Arabia this Saturday.
I think you need to give it to Liv.
By hook or by crook, I don't care how.
Yeah. Well, I think Liv needs to get it, and then she can continue her feud with Becky. but you can start building Liv up. Liv needs to, if we're turning her heel like this, she needs to be built up strong. So when you have the strong Rhea Ripley come back as a mega babyface, at least Liv feels like a threat to Rhea's return or getting that title back. She has to be built to that caliber, because right now, if you were like, if you had Liv with the title right now facing returning Rhea, it would be like, you just don't. So this would be the time to pull the trigger, put the title on Liv, and if it's until WrestleMania 41 before Rhea really, I mean, she'll probably return at Rumble and then progress. But I'm saying if we're going to building Liv to being this strong heel going into WrestleMania might be the right the right steps, or even SummerSlam, even over the next 4 months. I mean, it's time to build Liv up to be a big heel. Crazy.
I want it to be longer than. I want it to be past SummerSlam.
Well, I'm hoping that it's past SummerSlam. I believe Rhea's going to be out longer than SummerSlam, but I mean, it's like we need to put that title on Liv right now and start building her to being that piece. So when you bring Rhea back, you have that instant story, and it's time. From there, Bronson Reed walks into Sammy's locker room and tells him he's too worried more about him than Gable. He's only worried about the money, and he makes money by being violent. This Saturday, he gets his biggest payday yet. Reed leaves, and Otis enters. Sammy expected better from Otis. He thought Otis was better than that. He is proud of himself. Otis stops Sammy from leaving and apologizes, saying he really is sorry. Sammy says he knows. He is a good guy. Chad is not. Sammy has been there before. Take it from him. The sooner you stop listening to Gable and start listening to the fans, he'll be a lot better. Sammy walks away as the crowd chants for Otis. Becky Lynch comes out to talk about her upcoming match with Liv. They have a lot of history, but Liv has never once beaten her. This is a different Liv, though. She is hell-bent on revenge, and she's hitting people from behind. Out comes Liv Morgan to tell Becky to stop gaslighting the crowd. Becky punches her in her face, and Liv retaliates, and she is the bad guy. Then she leaves as Becky is getting attacked because it's none of her business, and she's afraid of a fight. No, she doesn't care about the other women and barely cares about Becky. All she's here to do is finish her revenge tour. Becky says Liv finally figured out after 10 years what she is doing here. She knew when she was 15. She wrote a book about it. She wanted equality to change the game, and she did. She wants to make sure that when she leaves, it's better than how she found it, but Liv's purpose is revenge. Okay, so if she gets it, then what happens next? Liv calls Becky delusional, then mocks Becky for what she thinks about herself. Becky's the most selfish person in the entire company. Becky doesn't care about us or this place. All she's ever cared about is herself. What? They can't hear her because their heads are shoved up Becky's arse so far. What's next? After 10 long years, hard years in the WWE, she finally sits where she belongs, which is at the top of this division. Becky says we know she's lying because she knows we can't be tricked. She gives her best for us. She wants to fight now, so let's go. Liv pretends to come to the ring and then backs out and says she's going to wait till Saturday. Good setup here between Liv and Becky Lynch. They are definitely telling the story that Liv has never beaten Becky. Becky riding that high horse of never beating her. So it could be very interesting in the story they're going to tell. Your thoughts?
I mean, it pretty much speaks for itself. I don't know if there's much I can really add to this. The closest association, and while not quite as prestigious as what I'm about to say, kind of reminds you of the CM Punk Samoa Joe story for a little bit. Where it's like Punk just never got that win for the longest time until he did. This could be Liv Morgan's chance.
I really think it is, and I think it is the right place, the right time, and the right direction. Liv needs to be the champion more than Becky. Becky with the title is safe, but building Liv up right now is got to be the priority. She needs that title. She needs to become a monstrous heel. She needs to run through Becky. She needs to run through several of the other baby faces on this card until she can get back, until we get Rhea back. Because Liv needs to be built up as this villainous heel. She needs to be like a threat to when Rhea comes back and Liv's like, oh, I'm not done with my revenge tour. It's got to feel like, yeah, this is going to be something good.
But the funniest thing to me is they're turning Liv heel granted, that's all well and good, but the catalyst to this character is because Mommy jumped her and put her out for a while. And now when Mom comes back, she's going to be an over face. It's like,
I don't think this was
storytelling.
Yes. No, man, I don't think that was the initial story they were going for. I don't think they meant Rhea to get hurt, but now they've got to transition this. They put the title on Becky. They've got to turn Liv completely heel. Rhea's going to come back as a huge babyface, so Liv needs to be built as a monstrous, villainous heel that can stand toe-to-toe with Rhea in the ring, because Rhea's babyface, when she comes back, is going to be so far over. Now, how long will they keep her babyface? Will they let her win the title and then turn her back heel? I don't know. I think her as a babyface working with Dominic alone, who Dominic can still play that Eddie Guerrero heel-like character, I think would be so great for both of them.
Or they eventually turn him face also and do the Eddie Guerrero-like thing.
Well,
where he's doing certain tactics.
My point would be to get him as the heel, and it's Mommy that's slowly turning him, and maybe the fans will get behind him and slowly turn him face. I really like to see the fans want to get behind Dominic being the face. Like, I would want Dominic to start doing the little Ray or doing the little Eddie cheats and lies and the boot stuff and all the stuff that kind of got Eddie over as the babyface, with, you know, Mommy being the babyface, but him still trying to get her to do heel tactics, and she's like, oh, hell no. I think there's so much there, and you slowly progress him into a babyface, because I think if you do it and let him play a lot of the Eddie characters, I think the fans will get behind him. I think Dom's almost there to being cheered and not so heavily booed, but if you do it right, could be really awesome.
That's fair.
Backstage, Priest is upset with Finn and JD. In comes Dom and Carlito. Priest tells JD to ask for a match with Braun Strowman next week, which seems like a suicide mission. Priest says they need to get back on track. He doesn't even recognize them anymore and leaves. Finn says he's right. The wheels have fallen off, and JD needs to go talk to Pierce now. Then Finn calls, or at one point Finn was calling for the big guy, and he just kind of ignored him. I think we're alluding to little things here. The more Priest ignores the boys and seems to be stepping away from Judgment Day, the more I think we're going to have issues here. Finn, we need to get Finn back on the right page, because he seems so lost in the shuffle.
He is, but I'm sure he's serving the role that he's supposed to be in for the time being.
Yes.
But yes, we do need to kind of get him back into that main event scene where I think a bunch of us want to see him back in to be a contender for, whether it's the World Heavyweight title, whether down the line he gets, a chance at the undisputed WWE Championship, whatever. He needs another shot at a title that means something, because the Universal title, which is taken away from him too bloody early because of injury.
Yes. We're definitely on a track to do something. I know he's in a holding pattern, for lack of a better words. Backstage, Doctor's checking on Xavier Woods. His knee, he gives Woods the good to go, and Kofi says he's going to ask Pierce for a shot. In comes Karrion Kross to tell Woods that there's always time to turn things around. This is going to be an interesting story with the Final Testament, and that's not a good sign. Let's get over here. Why did you stand by? Technical difficulties. We are still up and running on my end. Okay, my feed just dropped out there for a little bit, but we're back. I hadn't even looked at that in a while. I need to look at that a little more. Very interesting how people thought this was an overall average show, 29% at good and 14% at boring.
Wow.
Very interesting. From there, we have the women's tag team #1 contenders match. Damage Control, Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane tagging up. They took on Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, taking on Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks, and then Ivy Nile and Maxine. This was what you expect from a four-way dance with this many women in the match. It was a decent match, not the prettiest match. But in the end, in a shocker, a kick to Maxine, lockups to a powerbomb, tosses Maxine into the knees from Shayna, and they get a pin for the 1, 2, 3. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks are going to move on and get a shot at the women's champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Don't know when, don't know where, but we will be waiting to see when that happens. This is very interesting. Out of all the women in this match, I don't know if I would have gone with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks to win it all. But,
really?
No, but a lot of it because WWE hasn't done a lot behind them. Like I just didn't feel like they were the two people that WWE would get behind right now because they hadn't really done much with them building up to this match. I just felt like they were here to be two women to take up a spot. I felt that Damage Control or maybe Ivy Nile and Maxine, because they're trying to give Ivy Nile and Maxine something, but I felt like Damage Control, because Damage Control lost the title, they were going to let them have the rematch. But I definitely wanted to pick Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks. Not that I'm not happy or excited to see that. I mean, I'm glad they're going with something different and can't wait to see what we get out of that.
I mean, we're sitting here talking about the most metal female tag team, and Zoe Starks and Shayna Baszler. Listen to the music. You can, when you also have the mixed martial arts background, kind of, nice fit. I did like the fact that Ivy Nile and Maxine, and more particularly Maxine, got a little bit of shine. It's like pretty basic in ring work, but it was solid. And that's what I liked about it. It's like you can see that she just needs to get the more reps in, and it's like she will get there. She's not quite where I think she needs to be, but she will get there, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
But I think the right team won. I didn't see Damage Control going over just because why would you have, unless they're going to start Ascension, why would you have Damage Control face Damage Control? Yeah.
Huh? Why would you have Damage Control face Damage Control? You forget
never mind,
Bianca. I said it at the beginning. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are your women's tag team champions.
Yeah, I'm tripping. Don't mind me. We're going to pass on that for a second here. I'm old. Leave me alone. Get off my lawn. I mean, yeah. Anyways, and what they haven't done much with Katana Chance and Caden Carter, really, like just to get them to have matches, let alone winning matches.
Yes, no, I didn't see much.
So I was kind of behind Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler to begin with on this night.
Anyways, from there we go backstage with Lou Kaiser. He's asked if he thinks Gunther has a chance tonight. Kaiser brings up Sheamus, saying last time Sheamus used his fist was to pound down on his keyboard. The truth about Sheamus is that he said that his career is either over at home to protect his legacy, or he'll come back just for Kaiser to put him down like old Yeller. Kaiser calling out Sheamus. We're not seeing Sheamus. I don't know where we're going with this. He leaves, and here comes Drew McIntyre. Adam has required him to be here, but no time for him to speak his mind. But screw that. Let's talk about Priest. Nobody gets one over on him. Drew got what he wanted, a rematch. Now he's playing chess, and Priest is just playing with his guyliner. He tells Priest to focus on the title and not all the other crap his guyliner. Eyeliner. Okay, cool. Other crap he has going on. He'll be champion soon. So, I was saying earlier they felt like Damian Priest is kind of floating. I guess they're trying to build him the Drew McIntyre, but the big thing is Drew's arm is hurt. Whether it's kayfabe or truth, we don't know for sure, but I guess that's why we're kind of in a floating pattern here. Probably the Clash at the Castle is where we're going to see Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, so that's probably why we're floating through the universe at the moment. 11% for awesome. Somebody is saying this show is awesome. 9 votes. Thank you for each and every person that's voted tonight. We appreciate you, and thank you for taking your time out of your busy night and day to join us and be here. I know we're having some technical difficulties out there. I don't know why all of a sudden our frame rate and upload thing just bottomed out. We were fine until real recently here. So I don't know what's doing that. Anyways, we're going to try and wrap up the show. I know we're a little over the hour mark. We're going to get this done. If you're here, we appreciate you for watching. I'm sorry if it's a little glitchy, but we're trying to figure that out, sort that out. Someday these things will be better as we progress forward. Anywho, from there we had Chad Gable with the Creed Brothers, which I love to see. I hope Chad Gable leaves behind Alpha Academy and joins and aligns himself with the Creed Brothers. The Creed Brothers need to go heel. I think it would be good. This moment felt right. Seeing them all together felt right. As they were talking, Otis walked up, and Chad asked Gable where he was. Gable said he went and apologized to Sammy. Gable was like, huh? Oh, you're tugging on his heartstrings, and makes Otis say no matter what. So Chad Gable being shown with the Creed brothers was a great image, and I hope that they're teasing that for a purpose. His thing with Otis, we'll have to see where this plays out. I can't wait to see the day that Otis turns on Chad Gable. From there, we had Jey Uso cutting a promo. He's backstage. He slaps on the garage door. The garage door goes up, and we're going to get the King of the Ring semifinal match between Gunther and Jey Uso. And man, this will probably be the match of the week. I don't know if you can top this match. Randy Orton and Tama Tonga are probably going to have a good match. I don't care what AEW is putting on this week. I don't care if Bryan Danielson is taking on Saddam Singh this week. I don't care if Swerve Strickland's taking on Nick Wayne. I don't care if you're Dave Meltzer and think that's the greatest wrestling. This will probably go down as the match of the week. I mean, I don't think you could have saw anything better. This match deserves. Okay, you gave it 3 3/4 stars. Fuck these 3 3/4 star bullshit. Anyways, this was a 4-star, if not a 5-star match. This was solid. The back and forth, Jay almost winning. You didn't know which way this was going to go until the very end, and Gunther just chopping the snot out of Jay. Jay coming out of just being chopped to death. The hit of spears, the hit of splash. The ref accidentally gets taken down. He gets a delayed count for a 2. Gunther kicks out. He chops some more, and then he locks in just the most vicious sleeper, like a $1 million dream sleeper combination. Takes Jay down to the mat, wraps his legs around him. The ref holds up his arm and realizes that Jay is asleep. Gunther wins with a vicious submission. Gunther looking like a badass. This match went 17 minutes, 35 seconds. Tonight, this was the standard bearer. You have to beat this match. So, AEW, let's see you beat this match. I don't think you can. SmackDown, you have a challenge.
It ain't happening this week.
You have a challenge this week, SmackDown, to really show what you got. Can Randy Orton and Tama Tonga bring this? I don't know if they can, because the difference between a Randy Orton and a Tama Tonga and a Gunther...
Ability-wise, yes. Ability-wise,
yes,
SmackDown has a chance.
Yes, they do, but I don't... The thing I'm saying is, you hear Gunther and Jey Uso, you hear Randy and Tama Tonga. Randy's up there, but Tama Tonga really hasn't had that time to be built to be like there, where you're looking at.
You're taking it from a WWE perspective.
Yes.
And knows what the WWE audience has seen. I'm looking at it from a New Japan, from an indie, from someone who's watched Tama Tonga before.
I know where Tama Tonga
That's what I'm saying. Whether it actually happens or not, I don't know. But I'm saying the chance is there. The ability is there.
Yes.
The talent is there.
We just haven't seen that version of Tama Tonga from New Japan yet. So we don't know what we're going to get yet. We haven't seen the Tama Tonga that we desperately need to see. And against Randy Orton, we need to see that. But again, are we really going to get Tama Tonga versus Gunther in the finals? Or are we going to get Randy Orton? Are we going to get Randy Orton going over Tama Tonga, which worries me, because how do you? I mean, I guess Kevin Owens or somebody's got to interfere how that's going to go. And then if Tama Tonga doesn't get to the finals, how does the interim tribal chief feel about that after Jimmy lost his match at WrestleMania? So it's like the lines here are really going to get interesting and blurred. Does this man still get to be the MFT if he loses to Randy? Or is he going to go so violent? And hopefully this is what I would do. He needs to go so violent he gets DQ'd. Basically, he needs to beat the shit out of Randy, where Randy may not even make it to the King of the Ring final match. He can't lose flat. I mean, he can't get pinned. So it's going to be very interesting how they're going to play this out. But again, Tama Tonga versus Gunther for the King of the Ring tournament, that could surprise us. Gunther looks like the winner.
I mean, they could. I mean, it's possible.
The Gunther looks like the winner, but I mean, if you crown Tama Tonga as the King of the Ring, I mean, if you pull that one out, I mean, you have a whole different direction for things. So,
especially with the whole bloodline story.
But my point is, you look at Gunther and Jey Uso; they're so high main eventers. Tama Tonga is just so new that, granted, what he's done in New Japan, like, he can be something. But until we see that on WWE TV, it's just like it doesn't carry that same weight.
Well, so here's the thing. We're talking about potentially the match of the week. So I'm talking about ability versus storyline.
No, I think Randy and Tama Tonga
Tama Tonga can still lose, and it can still be a fantastic match.
They could bring it. It's going to be more interesting. I think they did a great job protecting Jey Uso tonight, too. That was the other key. How do you get Gunther to go over Jey Uso without taking the momentum away from Jay, and they did that tonight. They were able to pull that off beautifully. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing they did, choking out Jay, because we hadn't seen Gunther really use a submission that very often to finish off anything. Can Triple H book Tama as strong as he looked in Japan? I believe he can. It's just, are they going to allow it? It depends on how they're going to do that. It's just a matter of time. Anyways.
It's about that. It also depends on the story they want to tell. And that's what it really boils down to. What is the story they want to tell?
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, right here on the channel, when you wake up, you should see, hopefully, it should be done in the mail, correct, Mr. Z? The New Japan Rebound podcast should be up and posted tomorrow morning, where Miguel Z is going to go over everything in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's going to break it all down, tell you what's going on, what's going down. That should air tomorrow. Wednesday, somebody sadly will be here for your Dynamite post-show review. Who will be? Who knows? We will find out. Be here, and we'll see. Thursdays this week in preview. We'll tell you everything that's coming up in the week going from Thursday to the next Wednesday. So you're going from TNA all the way to AEW Dynamite that following Wednesday, breaking it all down, discussing everything that's going down, even the two major pay-per-views that are going to be this weekend. Friday, me and Mr. Clarke will be back here, maybe with Mr. Z to cover SmackDown, the final SmackDown, the SmackDown in Saudi Arabia, the go-home show, the last show before we go to King of the Ring. Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, we will be here with a post-show review of the King and Queen of the Ring event from Saudi Arabia. It's AT&T, remember. I don't care about your excuses. Get it done. And then Sunday, we're going to be here live with the Double or Nothing post-show review, and there'll be no weekly roundup this week because we're going to do the post-show review on AEW Dynamite Double or Nothing, and we'll break that all down to you. So it's a busy, busy week going into several things. Look every day on the shorts for this date in wrestling history. What happened on this date in wrestling history? If you want to know some great moments, some great highlights, go check that out. Today, unfortunately, was one of the Saturdays as we found out that 2011, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, sadly had a heart attack by driving, crashed into a tree, and passed away. Sad note to remember that on. But that's why you check that out, because you never know what's going to happen. We've learned some great things from this week or this day in wrestling history, finding out how it happened, what went down, and all of those things. Mr. Clarke, is there anything else you want to say before I wrap up this show?
I think we've covered everything.
Right.
The only other thing is on Saturdays, there's also another program that we call Catching Up With, which covers NWA Power, NXT, Ring of Honor, and TNA. So there's that. So always content, always stuff that we're putting out there, trying to make sure we fill every day of the week.
Yes, and if there's any breaking news, we bring that to you. But anyways, we thank you for joining us. We thank you for being here. I know it's a little bit slow. It's went off its rocker. It's fighting to stay alive, but we appreciate for you sticking with us. We thank you for joining in the votes. We thank you for joining in the chat each and every time you get to join. Who said Raw was boring? Dude, quit changing the subject. Go get that show done. Get it in the mail so it can be posted in the morning, because I don't want to hear your excuses. You're over here going, well, that was boring. No. Anyways, make sure you give this a big thumbs up. Like this video. Share it out with all your friends, family, and everybody that you know that loves professional wrestling. We are the hottest ticket in the IWC. I promise you, we're going to be better than the rest. We are here to be contenders, not pretenders. Believe that. Take it to the bank. Cash that check. We are coming in like a storm, and we're going to take the IWC by storm. We are going to be the best. We're not simply just somebody who comes out here and says it. We are the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting. Believe it, know it, breathe it, because we are coming to be number one. Oh, I got your thumbs up. I hope you mean that like you're giving me a like. Because if you're going somewhere else, we're going to have problems, mister. And I'll go call Marty, and Marty will come visit you at your house, my friend. So I'd watch where you're walking right now. Anywho, ring that bell for notifications so when our videos go live, whether it's going to be an AEW Dynamite post-show review, a SmackDown post-show review, or when we're reviewing both these pay-per-views this weekend, the King and Queen of the Ring, PLE, or Double or Nothing. Sorry, I'm trying to get myself hyped up and trying to get excited to watch that show on Sunday. I'm going to watch good wrestling on Saturday, and then I got to get up on Sunday, sit around all day, wait till the evening, and sit here going, "Ooh, what happened? Why? Anywho,
Some people want to have their cannabis or their alcohol before that. Some of us will have a caffeine pill to make sure we're still up and it doesn't put me to sleep.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cover it all. We're going to be here. Make sure you're here. If you're new here, if you're joining us, this is the first time you're seeing us, please hit that subscribe button. Join us as we march closer to 500. That's a big, huge step. We want to celebrate 500 here real soon. And then we're on our way to 1,000. 1,000 is going to be fun. We got giveaways. We got dances. We got a shoey. We got a lot of things coming when we hit that 1,000 mark. Ladies and gentlemen, help support the value of wrestling. Check the links in the description below of all the things that we have listed there. They're all detailed out, whether it's helping out AJ Kirsch, a good ally and friend to the value of wrestling. Much love to AJ. We support you. We love what you're doing. We are always here to support you, Mr. Kirsch, in all your endeavors. Whether it's supporting us going to WrestleMania or whether it's checking out the Goldmine or any of the other information, our whole link tree's in there. You can find all of our links to our Twitter accounts, our Facebook group page. You can check that out, join the group, chat with us daily. And as we grow, there'll be more things to come. So get ready for the party lottie-dottie. Maybe Tony will show up on our review show this Sunday. Maybe he should show up for Dynamite before that post show. And maybe we can have a conversation lottie-dottie with the con man, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, good night. Mr. Clarke, tell him good night.
Mr. Clarke, good night.